Welcome to Speed Data, quick conversations with cybersecurity leaders. I'm your host, Megan Garza. This afternoon, I have the pleasure of welcoming Doug Merrett, founder of Platinum7, a security, compliance, and resilience consultancy that focuses on the Salesforce product suite. Welcome to Speed Data, Doug.
Thanks for having me, Megan. I really appreciate it.
Doug spent 13 years at Salesforce, working in leadership positions such as the Platform and Security Specialists Manager, Security and Compliance Advisors Manager, and as a principal enterprise architect. The knowledge he gained at Salesforce led him to open his own consultancy firm, specializing as an SSaaS, Salesforce Security as a Service. Prior to his time at Salesforce, Doug held leadership positions at Progress Software and worked as an analyst programmer for several years. Doug, you have a unique background working as a programmer, business development manager, solution engineer. What drew you to the world of IT?
When I was a younger person, I actually really enjoyed electronics. This is back in the late 70s, so dating myself a little bit now. And electronics was something I really enjoyed. And then Electronics Australia brought out a magazine that had a computer in it. And I was like, well, that's interesting. So I actually built that computer, and that was the thing that got me into computing. So as soon as I realized I wanted to do computing, I then worked at Tandy Electronics. You may know them as Radio Shack in the US. And I was there for many years. And my first computer, which I still have, is my Tandy TRS-80 Model 1.
Yes, I definitely remember my Radio Shack days. And what made you want to make the move from Salesforce to opening your own shop, Platinum7?
I was working at Salesforce, as you said, for 13 years, helping customers understand how Salesforce does what Salesforce does when it comes to security and how the actual infrastructure works. Because it does seem remarkable how Salesforce could cope with all that sort of load. And it was one of the first enterprise software systems as a service on the web. And so customers needed education. So we were helping them understand how we did what we did. And in the later years, when we were talking a lot more about security products, when Salesforce brought out a whole bunch of new capabilities, they said, oh, that's excellent. Who could I get to help me do this? And there weren't any partners out there who were really focused on Salesforce security. So I saw a bit of a gap in the market and decided to start my own business a couple of years ago now, focusing just on Salesforce security.
And now what do you enjoy most about your role, either day-to-day or overall?
I really enjoy helping out a lot of not-for-profits. Because I'm part of the Pledge One, I joined Salesforce because of the 1-1-1 model as well. It's one of the nice features that are up there at Salesforce. So Salesforce gives 1% of their time, their product, and their revenue to actually help charities. So I joined and did the same thing with Platinum7. So I give discounts to my not-for-profit customers, helping them get across the line, because people always think about financial institutions or health companies or these types of things having a lot of sensitive data. But if you think about it, a lot of charities have got a lot of data, which is extremely sensitive. So if you're a mental health charity, then you've got some very, very sensitive data, and it should be protected at least as well as financial information in larger companies. So helping out these smaller customers makes me feel, really gets me out of bed in the morning, which is great.
That's wonderful. And what do you think it takes to be a successful security leader?
Well, this is interesting because I've actually never been a CISO or a security analyst or these types of things. I wouldn't want to call myself a CISO in any way, shape or form. I work with a lot of my customers' CISOs, so I understand some of the challenges they have. I listen to a few podcasts and read some good blogs about what CISOs have to get up to. And I think the biggest challenge today with security leaders is you've got so much stuff to worry about. You've got so many risks out there which you have got no direct control over. Things like supply chain attacks. I saw another one this morning where a company has a challenge and it's rated at a really high level in the vulnerability scale. And having to control all of this, manage all of this, you need to be a technician, you need to be a marketer, you need to be a great communicator. And all of these things, I think, is making the security leader's life quite challenging. I'm quite happy doing what I do. I don't want to be a CISO. I think being a CISO is a pretty challenging job, and hats off to people who do it really well.
Yeah, you have to be a specific kind of person to love that role.
I think so, yeah. I think people who've got great curiosity, great person skills, and great tech skills, you don't need all three, but I think it does help to have at least two of those when you become a CISO.
And what do you think is the most important thing to remember when working in cybersecurity?
I think the best thing to remember is you can't always win. You have to take the attitude that no matter what you do, there could be a chink in the armor somewhere. And so you need to prepare for an incident. You can't just try and protect. You've got to also plan for when something does go wrong, because unfortunately it probably will. And it may not be your stuff which went wrong. It could be somebody else's, and they just ended up coming into you. So having a plan for what is your communication strategy, what is your internal strategy around solving that problem, what are you going to do, how are you going to process this, have a playbook, run these things, I think, run these desktop simulations, that type of stuff I think is very important, because you've seen in the press people who've actually had incidents and done a fantastic job of managing the whole process. And you've seen people who haven't done so well. And I'd rather be on the doing well side than the not doing well side.
And what do you predict to be the biggest shift in cybersecurity?
Everyone's talking about AI, and I'm not really sure that AI is going to be a hindrance or a help yet. Still sort of working that out. I know that the baddies are using it already to help create really good phishing emails and that type of thing that look proper, whereas back in the old days with spelling mistakes and grammar issues, it was pretty easy to spot a fish. Nowadays, it's becoming much harder. But also, I think on the positive side, AI will probably help a lot, helping you sift through the mountains of data you have from your logs to help you find that needle in the haystack a lot more simply than a human. So I think that could be something worthwhile in that area. But other than that, I think we're going to see a lot more proliferation of nation states doing some nasty things. So if you're in a targeted area like health or critical infrastructure or these types of things, I think you're going to be getting attacked a lot more, and understanding how you can protect yourself and how you should manage your processes and your systems, I think is going to be quite challenging moving forwards, because we're looking at a lot of SaaS products, a lot of on-premise products, and trying to blend them together and make sure it all works properly has always been challenging. Many juggling balls at the same time.
And now your shift to opening your own consultancy firm is evidence that security and compliance are a passion of yours. But if you weren't in technology, what would you be doing?
Very interesting question. As I said, I started off doing electronics and computing pretty early on in my life. And I had a choice when I went to university. I could have done electrical engineering, computer science, but also I was thinking about becoming an architect, because my technical drawing skills at high school, I really enjoyed that type of stuff, looking at houses and buildings and actually making them fit for purpose, and being able to think in 3D and spin things around in your mind and see how things fit together. That also excited me quite a bit. And it was quite a close call, but computing won.
I love that. Thank you so much for your time today, Doug. I enjoyed learning more about your background, and I appreciate you making time for me. As always, if our audience has any questions you would like me to ask on a future Speed Data episode, please email me at pr@varonis.com. Thanks, Doug.
Thanks a lot, Megan.